Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're revving things up a bit, looking at motorcycle performance. We've got this article, Top 5 Motorcycle Modifications to Boost Performance by K.R. Andre. Just came out May 17th, 2025.
Right. Fresh insights.
Yeah, and our plan really is to, cut through the technical stuff and figure out what actually makes a difference for power, handling, the whole riding experience.
Exactly. Not about becoming a pro mechanic overnight.
No, definitely not. Just getting the smarts on what's worth considering, why it works.
And this article hits some key spots. Things where changes, even fairly simple ones, can give you a noticeable improvement.
Yeah.
Getting more from your bike.
Totally. And where better to kick things off than with how the engine breathes? First up, upgrading the exhaust system.
Ah, the classic.
We all love a good sound, right? But there's more to it than that, performance-wise.
Oh, absolutely. The article points straight to reduced back pressure. Basically, if the engine can push exhaust gases out easier...
It can pull fresh air in better.
Precisely. That better flow equals better performance. It's fundamental.
Okay. So the article says this means more horsepower, right? Especially mid to high RPMs.
Yeah, when the engine's really spinning up. And also better torque.
Right. That low-end grunt, the pull you feel.
And there's another angle, too. Weight. Aftermarket exhausts are often lighter.
Ah, interesting. So less weight means better handling.
It can, yeah. Especially if that weight's up high. Makes the bike feel a bit quicker to turn, more agile. The article also distinguishes the two main types, slip-ons and full systems.
Right. So slip-on, that's just the muffler, the end can.
Basically, yeah. Just replaces the final section.
Easier to install, cheaper. You get the sound improvement and maybe a little performance boost.
Exactly. It's a really popular first step for a lot of riders. Good bang for your buck, nice immediate change in sound and feel.
But then there's the full system, everything from the engine back, headers, pipes, muffler, the works.
That's where you see the biggest potential performance gains because you're optimizing that entire exhaust path.
Makes sense. But the article mentions some catches.
Well, yeah. More involved. Definitely more expensive.
And noise regulations. Gotta watch out for those.
Absolutely crucial. You don't want trouble with the law. And very importantly, a full system usually means you need to look at tuning the engine's computer, the ECU.
Okay, we'll get to that one later. But it needs that adjustment to work properly with the new exhaust.
Yes. Without retuning, you might not get the full benefit. And sometimes it can even cause the engine to run poorly or risk damage.
Yeah.
So that cost-benefit point about slip-ons being a good start. Spot on.
Got it. Engine breathing, part 1. So part 2 would be the intake, modification number 2, a high-performance air filter.
Exactly. Same principle, different end. Reduce restriction. Let the engine suck in more air.
More air, more oxygen, better combustion.
You got it. Leads directly to potentially more power and definitely a quicker throttle response. Snappier feel.
So the engine's just happier, not working so hard to breathe in. The article even mentions maybe better fuel efficiency.
It's possible, yeah. A more efficient engine can use less fuel sometimes. It then breaks down the types, reusable ones, like foam or cotton.
K&N, BMC, those names.
Right. Washable, reoilable, great airflow, good filtration. But you have to maintain them.
Yeah, gotta clean and re-oil them periodically.
Correct. Forget that. And performance can actually drop. Then you have the synthetic or dry types.
Simpler, no oiling.
Yep. Easy install, usually just drop them in. But typically they're not reusable. You replace them when they're dirty.
And the article suggests pairing this with the exhaust upgrade, a free-flow system.
Yeah, they really work hand in hand, optimize the in and the out, creates a much more efficient cycle through the engine.
And putting one in sounds pretty easy. Just swap it for the stock one.
Generally, yes. Very DIY friendly for most bikes.
And the cost. Article says maybe $50 to $150. Seems pretty reasonable for a noticeable improvement.
It really is. It's often one of the most cost-effective mods you can do for a little extra zip.
Okay, so engine's breathing easy, in and out. Now, how do we tell it what to do with all that extra air and fuel? Mod number 3, ECU remapping or flash tuning. Sounds technical.
It is a bit more involved, yeah. We're talking about reprogramming the bike's brain, the engine control unit.
The ECU, right.
It controls fuel injection, ignition timing, all that critical stuff. Stock maps from the factory, they're usually conservative. Built for emissions, reliability across all conditions. Often not for peak performance, especially with mods.
So remapping is like custom software for the engine, tailored to the new parts.
That's a great way to put it. Flash tuning means uploading a new map, usually via the diagnostic port. Pretty clean process.
Non-invasive, reversible, usually.
Right. Then there are piggyback systems. The article mentions those too.
Add-on modules. They kind of trick the stock ECU.
Sort of. They modify the signals going to the stock ECU. Often cheaper, easier to install and remove.
Yeah.
Maybe less precise than full flash tune, though.
So a bit of a trade-off there.
Definitely. But the main benefit, as the article stresses, is unlocking the potential of the exhaust and air filter, making sure everything is optimized to work together.
Like conducting the orchestra, making sure everyone's playing from the same sheet music.
Exactly. And you could potentially get maps for different uses, right? Like a map for track days, another for smoother street riding.
That's cool, but warnings apply, I assume.
Oh, yeah. Compatibility is key. The map needs to match your specific bike and mods. And honestly, this is usually best left to a professional tuner.
Yeah, messing with the engine's brain sounds like something you want done right.
Definitely. Get it wrong, and you could cause engine damage. Plus, the article rightly flags potential issues with emissions tests and voiding your warranty.
Big considerations, not just plug and play.
Not at all. The cost, maybe $200 to $600, according to the piece, is an investment, but often essential to get the most from those other mods.
Okay. Engine breathing sorted, brain retuned. Let's talk about putting that power down and controlling it. Modification 4, upgrading suspension.
Yes. This is huge for handling and confidence. Stock suspension. It's usually okay, but it's a compromise. Designed to work passively for most people, most situations.
But not optimized for performance riding, or maybe heavier riders or rough roads?
Exactly. Upgrading gives you better control. Think better cornering, more stability when you brake hard or accelerate out of a turn, and often, believe it or not, more comfort too, because it handles bumps better.
So, more planted, better feedback, smoother ride. What are the options? Front forks first.
You could go for entirely new, upgraded forks, maybe inverted ones, cartridge forks for much better damping and stiffness.
Sure.
Or, more affordably, you can get your stock forks reworked. New springs, different valve settings.
Yeah.
That can make a big difference too.
And the back. The rear shock.
Key thing here is adjustability. Good aftermarket shocks let you fine-tune preload for your weight, plus compression and rebound damping how quickly the shock compresses and bounces back.
Lets you really dial it in for how you ride. The article mentions big names like Erlin's, WP.
Yep, premium stuff. They offer really sophisticated damping, high-quality construction. Makes a difference, especially if you're pushing it. Oh, and steering dampers too.
Ah, right. To stop handlebar wobble at high speed.
Exactly. Particularly important on powerful bikes or ones with aggressive steering geometry. Add stability.
So the benefits are sharper cornering, feeling more connected to the road.
Definitely. Better feedback means you know what the tires are doing, you feel more confident. But as the article notes, setting up suspension properly takes some know-how.
Yeah, all those adjustment knobs.
Right. Professional help for setup is often a really good idea to get the best results. And it's not cheap, $500 to maybe $2,000 or even more.
So another significant investment. Depends on your priorities.
It does. If handling and control are high on your list, it's often worth every penny. Some simpler spring swaps might be DIY, but full shock installs and tuning. Probably best left to pros.
Makes sense. Okay, final one. Number 5. Lightweight wheels and high-performance tires. This sounds like it affects everything.
It really does. It's about reducing unsprung weight. That's the weight the suspension doesn't hold up wheels, tires, brake discs.
Why does reducing that weight matter so much?
Less weight for the engine to spin up means faster acceleration, less rotational mass, less gyroscopic effect, makes the bike easier to flick into corners, sharper handling.
And helps the suspension work better too, right? It can react faster to bumps.
Precisely. The suspension doesn't have to control as much mass bouncing around. The article mentions materials like forged aluminum, magnesium, even carbon fiber.
Wow, carbon fiber. That's serious lightweight tech.
Oh yeah, big weight savings over standard cast wheels. Then you pair those light wheels with really good tires.
High-performance rubber, better compounds, better tread, more grip.
Loads more grip, typically. Better cornering, better braking traction, more stability. Brands like Michelin, Pirelli, Dunlop, Bridgestone, they all make fantastic performance tires.
So light wheels, sticky tires, transforms the bike's agility.
Absolutely. The article says faster lap times for track riders, safer, more fun on the street, even helps adventure bikes feel nimbler off-road. But, there's always a but, cost. Big one. Lightweight wheels can be very expensive, thousands sometimes, and performance tires. They grip amazingly, but they often wear out much faster than standard tires.
So higher running costs too, and maybe the super light wheels aren't as tough.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Might be more susceptible to damage from potholes. And of course, you need the right size wheels and tires for your specific bike.
Compatibility again. Professional installation needed for balancing.
Highly recommended, yes. For mounting, balancing, alignment, and keeping those fancy tires at the right pressure is critical for performance and safety.
Right. So that's the 5. Exhaust, air filter, ECU tune, suspension, and wheel stores. Quite a list, covering engine breathing, control, and handling.
It really covers the key areas highlighted in Andrew's article for boosting performance, from breathing better to handling sharper.
And the big takeaway seems to be, think about what you want from your bike, right? Your riding style, your budget.
Exactly. And be aware of the trade-offs: noise, potential warranty issues, cost versus actual benefit for your kind of riding. What works for a track weapon might be overkill for a commuter.
Makes total sense. So, thinking about all these possibilities, what part of your ride would you want to improve first? What doors might that open up for you out there on the road? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Until our next deep dive, ride safe, everyone.